Hi everyone. It's beginning to feel an awful lot like Christmas, at least here in Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. For the last 24 hours, it has snowed pretty much non-stop. So we have, yay, about this much of snow, and well, it's perfect for some Christmas crafting. So my name is Lillian, and my Facebook thing is Stamper's Niche, and I'm so glad you're joining me today for my second Christmas card class. It's a free class that I give to you as a gift, and if you're wanting the packet of make and takes and the handout, then you just have to place an order and I'll pop that in the mail to you. So let's go down to my desk and see what's going on. And while we do that, I on the weekend posted and asked what your favorite Stampin' Up! Red was. So while we're going down to my desktop, why don't you enter what your favorite Stampin' Up! Green is? Would it be Pear Pizzazz, Granny Apple Green, Old Olive, Garden Green, Shaded Spruce, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, or just Jade? Or Mossy Meadow. So I counted 9 different greens to choose from. So which is the one that you would like, that you would use most at Christmas time, I guess? Because it does make a difference, doesn't it? So let's go down to my desk while you're entering that information, and so glad to see so many of you on here. That is perfect. And again, I'm just going to click on the link for the Facebook page, and I'm seeing lots of different greens popping up. Excellent. Okay, we seem to, there, I think we're a little more focused. Excellent. So in looking at this, you might have even noticed in the handout here that I'm using a lot of Evening Evergreen, and I'll explain why in a moment. But Sue, Old Oliver, Evening Evergreen, if green is a must. Ah, yes, I know you're not a green lady, but I've seen you using green a little bit lately and kind of liking it. So maybe we're going to be bringing you over to the green side, should we say. All right, so let's move that out of the way and let's get right down to making the projects. And then we'll talk later about how you get them free. So when you get the, Terry, you love the new in color greens. Oh, excellent. I do too. I found myself using them a lot. And so I'm in agreement with you, and I can't seem to find my video. I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong spot. We will see. Let's just see here. Sorry, I am going to get set up. I have been known to do the wrong thing before. And let's see. Fingers crossed that I am actually in the right spot. I think I am. I think the computer's just being a slowpoke. So we will ignore that. You seem to be all here, which is a good sign. So the first card we're going to do, and when you get this, I can't start my video. So I'm having a little trouble with that too, Francie. So I'm not sure what is happening here. Maybe the Facebook doesn't like, Facebook's not liking this weather. Oh, I see it. Mine's on now. So hopefully yours is on now too. There we go. So when you place your order, you will get each packet of goodies will come in an envelope so that it's all set to go. And then you will add your own stamps and your own ink and adhesive and that kind of thing. So the first card we're going to make, well, first of all, I should explain, I based all of the cards around this pack of designer paper. So I used the coordinating colors quite a bit and this paper here. But you could take these ideas and switch them up to whatever you have as well. So that's called the Tidings of Christmas. So the first card is this one here. It's a very simple little card, but it has lots of nice detailing. And then when you open it up, And it's like this. Now, I stamped there first. I don't always put a little embellishment there, but I mucked up my stamping. So there is a good way of just covering up an issue. You just stamp it again and either punch or die cut it out. So this is the card we're making. Let's see what is in the envelope. Now, when you get your envelope, I will have done any of the die cutting for you, and I will have done any of the embossing for you. So let's look at the card base first off, and we'll fold it like that. Now you'll notice that there is about an inch cut off of the card front, and that's because we're going to be putting this here. And how did I get that lovely embossing on there? I used the Wintry embossing folder. Now the Wintry embossing folder actually comes with two little ones. And I used the snowflake one. I could have used this one as well, but either one works perfectly. And it just so happens that with that inch cut off, it fit on there perfectly. So that's how I did that. And now let's look at this. Let's fasten this in right here. So we'll add some adhesive like that. I saw somebody say this is an elegant card. It is. It's the simplicity of it makes it look elegant. And I'm going to show you an alternative for the snowflake as well. So we've got that, and then you would stamp your message there. So we're going to concentrate on the front. So how did I get the snowflakes? We have a gorgeous, gorgeous new snowflake die set that is in the mini catalog. So it does all, I don't know if you can see. Oh, Francie, I'm good. You're all good now. Good. It's got all kinds of stitching on it. I just love it. And then it has the outlines, which match the stamps. And then it has that, it sort of makes the design right into the paper. So that's a kind of new thing, and I really like that too. But we're just going to stick with the snowflakes, this one here, and I think it was this one here. So let's take a look what we're going to do. We're going to fasten this one right down, but we're going to overhang not too far, just a bit. So like that. So I'm actually going to use a glue dot. I could use any kind of glue that I wanted. Glue dot's just nice and easy to do. And we will go, oh, let's put it like that. There we go. Then we have this, and what I did with this is I stamped on it, and what I'm using is the, oh, where did it go here? Merry and Bright. I took the stamp set and put it into another something else, and I forget where it went. But I think it's the Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. I can't remember. But we will just do this, and that punch that I have there is this one here, and it's the Essential Tag Punch. Just a lovely tag. There we go. So we'll do that. And I'm not going to do the inside right now. And again, I am just going to use a glue dot and fasten that, move that out of the way, to the inside. Now what I'm being careful of is when I stamped, I tried to keep my words down because I'm going to put a snowflake up there, right? And I'm making sure that it's not going to overhang the edge, because then it won't fit in the envelope very nicely. So there we go, like that. Now I'm going to put this one on a mini dimensional, or you could cut a dimensional down, but I'm going to use a mini dimensional here. I love my mini dimensionals, and just put it on top, try to offset it a little bit and center it, and then we're just going to add our jewels and we'll be good to go. So that's how quick and easy this card is. And can you just see it? I can see this in so many different colors and designer papers, and I just pick my colors from the designer paper. So you could actually use some of those favorite greens of yours here. There are greens in this designer paper, or whatever designer paper you choose to use. If you don't have designer paper, you could make your own by stamping a design and adding it there, or just adding a solid color. Oh, there we go. So there is card number 1. Now, another option would be as you know, I'm a little addicted to these wonderful snowflakes. They're called Wonderful Snowflakes. And, oh, Linda, tidings and trimmings, thank you so much. I thought I'd stuck with that stamp set, but, you know, my memory doesn't last very long. So you could use one of these, which I did in this sample here, and put it in the background, and it has a bit of shimmer to it, but otherwise built everything the same, so that would be an option. Or you could add Wink of Stella here. You can take it whatever direction you want after that. So let's put that to the side and bring in card number 2. Just have to shift things around. So card number 2 is this card right here. So, whoops, got it a little high. So this card uses the, oh, I love all those hearts, thank you. And you might want to share, because there's something I'm going to offer you at the end if you happen to share. So this uses the Evening Evergreen bundle, so the stamp set and the punch. So we're going to have a look-see at that. So let's bring in the packet and take everything out. Make sure there's nothing left. And that will be punched for you, but I want to show you how to do the punching. That's why I have that extra there. So let's start with the card base right here. And when you place your order, you'll get the handout with all the measurements and that kind of thing. So we've got the card base, and then we've got these 2 pieces. And we're going to stamp at the bottom of this one right away with cherry cobbler ink. So we'll bring that in. And I was going to show you, sorry, the punch and the stamp set look like this. So again, these are in the annual catalog. All right, so this is a bundle in the annual catalog. So this is what we're using. Let's put that there and clear myself a bit of space. And this, I want to get it straight. And I'm keeping it low because I am going to be putting this on. There we go. So we've got that done. And I'll close this up before I put something in it. And now we're going to fasten that to the Evening Evergreen. So we'll just do that right off the bat. Actually, no, we're not going to. We're going to press the pause button there for a minute, because we want to put this on first. And we want to glue that down, because then if we have anything overhanging, we can clip it off. But let me show you how I got this. This is one of the border punches that, oh, I really love this punch. So we're going to, it's the evergreen border. So what you do is you slide your designer paper, or your any paper, cardstock or designer paper in, and I like to put it down here. There, so there we've done that. Now we're going to take it and slide it in again, but this time these little trees, we're going to match them up with these trees, and then everything will be lined up perfectly. And the other thing to watch for is to make sure the bottom edge is butted up right against that there. So I chose to do these trees in designer paper, and it gives them just a little more interest. So at least I thought it did. So that's what made me happy. And so that's how I got that evergreen border like that. So let's clear this off and let's fasten this down. So, ooh, could use that side too, couldn't we? Should we try that side just for a different look? Why not? Okay. Okay, I'm going to put the adhesive on this side. Now I could have used adhesive sheets, but I didn't think of it. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue right in the middle. And then I know that my rectangle is going to go right about here, so I want it about there. And I'm going to use the grid marks to help me line things up. That needs to be up a smidge. There we go. I think we've got it like that. And while that is drying, I am going to stamp my tree. So my tree is from the same stamp set. And we'll just, and this is Evening Evergreen ink. And we're going to stamp it, and we're going to leave just enough room for the bow. We could always add a star at the top too. I just didn't think of that till this moment, but you could do that, of course. So we've got that, and so this likely is set up. I'm going to turn it over, and there's just a little smidge needs trimming off. And now we'll fasten that to the Evening Evergreen cardstock. There we go. I'm going to pick it up and just see. Now I left just a tiny border, so if you don't like that, you can make a little bit bigger border. And then you can fasten it now to the card front. On this one, I use dimensionals. So I think I'll do the same here because I do love my dimensionals. So let's just fire some down here. I know that a lot of you watched last night's video too with the Picture This dies. And I finished that unfinished card off, and I'm going to post it likely tomorrow. So you can be watching for it. If you missed last night's Facebook Live, it's of course still there to watch. And it also is on my YouTube channel. So you can catch it either place. But I really, really, really loved that, that die, and I had so much fun with it. So take a gander at that and see what you think. So there we go. We've got it like that, which looks pretty good on its own, right? So we've got this stamped. We're going to put dimensionals on this too. Now, if you're mailing these cards, you could have left off these dimensionals. I think this will still go through the mail just fine, but I know some of you mail overseas and you become a little more conscious of that. So there, peel off those backings. When I'm finished one of these online things, I have backings, a whole pile of them in front of me and on the floor. They're everywhere. So now I'm going to line this up like that. And I'm not pushing it down till I see if it looks pretty straight. There we go. And then I tied a little silver bow. So I'm going to bring in a glue dot and just kind of roll it together. So make it long and skinny instead of round. And fasten it there. And then all we have to do now is add our rhinestones, because to me they sort of look like snow or stars. Oh, now I just sent the rhinestones flying somewhere. Let's see, I think I still have some, I still have another ones here. I'll find those later. I'm not going to stop and go looking right now. And so let's see, we will put one here and one here and one here. So I stuck to exactly what I did on this sample because it just is easier that way. And then on the inside of this one, I used, I decided to do a layer, and the stamp set has a bow kind of thing, and I stamped that along the edge, and then it has wonderful verses too. So it's one of those stamp sets that has everything you need to make cards. And so here it is. So here it is with the trees done with that side of the designer paper, and this one with the trees done with that side. So Judy, does dimensionals have to come in bigger packs? Yes, I could use a big package. So question, which side do you like? Do you like the side that's just the two greens, or do you like the side that has the leaves and the bit of blue and berries and that kind of thing? So A or B, which one is your favorite one of those? So you can type that in while I'm getting set up for the next one. I just saw somebody say, glad to catch you live. I think it was Kathy. Yeah, I'm glad you could too. That's marvelous, Kathy. So, side with the leaves. A. So I guess it's personal preference. They're a little bit of everything. Excellent. Okay, guess what? We are on card number 3 already. Okay, and we're going to do this. Now, you'll notice on these cards, I'm using a lot of punches and dies. That's because then I can mail them to you, and you can basically just add some words from your collection and make them. You could easily switch things out in any of these cards. Like in this one here, you could stamp that background, or you could stamp what we're doing here. But the reason I was choosing dies and punches is so that you have the pieces when they come to you in the mail. So here's the card. So let's bring in the kit. Here's the kit right here. Let's dump it out. And first off, we're going to fold the card. Now, all of these cards are fairly basic designs, but they still look good. So that's something to remember, that it just doesn't matter, right? And now we're going to look at this, and you will find that you have 2, of the whites. One is for the inside of your card. So let me just show you what I did with the inside. I used some scrap paper and decorated it that way, and then stamped like this. And the stamp set I am using here is, there's the missing stamp set, the tidings and trimmings, is Perfectly Plaid. And I'm also using Noel, because I want to, or not Noel, tidings and trimmings, because that's where the Noel came from. So let's see, we're going to take one of these whites and put that aside, because that's the inside. We're going to take the other basic white, and we're going to fasten this here. But before we do, we're going to do our stamping, because that, again, if we goof up, we can always flip it over, right? And nobody will know that it has Noel on both sides. So let's bring in our cherry cobbler. And we'll stamp our Noel, and we're going to keep it down here so that there's room for everything else that's happening. So we'll put it down here. Give it a moment for the ink to transfer. And then close this up. Now we can bring this in and just glue it down. So we'll move that out of the way. Bring in our adhesive. Some artistically applied adhesive there, right? Don't you just love it when you can just kind of go swish, 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 swish. There we go. So we've got it like that. Now also in your kit, you've got a bow with the chevron evening evergreen ribbon and this strip. And this strip is going to wrap around here, and you can fasten it different ways. You can use seal or whatever. I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots to hold it in place. And one of the reasons I have this ribbon here in the design process is it kind of hides the join, or fancies it up a little bit. It looks sort of raw there, but when you add this, it looks finished. So that's the reasoning behind that. So we've got that. Now we can apply it to our evening evergreen piece. like that. And with the liquid glue, I can pick it up and make sure that it's straight. And then I'm just going to apply it to the card front. Then we'll work on the rest of the card. There we go. Now, I'm going to be showing you a variation of this card. On this card here, I took the cherry cobbler and I fastened it down with dimensionals. I made sure my dimensionals were going to be top and bottom, not on the ribbon. And so what I'm going to do is, makes it easier if I just... you love my gluing techniques? Yeah, it just feels so artistic. And then, right, you just kind of swish it around. You could even practice your signature, I guess. If you were going to be a star or something and needs to practice your autograph, there you go. So that's that. Now, on this one, I used one tree. I put it on dimensionals and put it down, and that works perfectly. On this one, I'm going to show a variation of, I'm going to use 4 trees, and I scored them down the middle, and I'm going to make it 3-dimensional. So this sort of would depend where you're going to mail it to. And so when I was punching it out with the pine tree punch, I punched 2 this way, and then 2 this way. And that is because this punch is not perfectly symmetrical. And so I needed to play around a little bit to so that the sides would line up. So let me just show you what I mean here. So if I put these 2 together, oh, I got lucky and those ones line up. So let me just grab another one. Oh. So if, well, it's not going to, trust me, this makes it work and the other doesn't. So just add adhesive to one side, then you've got the other one folded, and there it goes like that. So we're making a little stack of folded trees. So what you're lining up is the fold, okay? And then we're doing this one and lining this one up. And you might get a little gluey, but that's okay. And I really, really like liquid glue for this because you can slide and make sure it's all lined up. And then we're going to do this one like this and line up those edges. Now this is one I've taught over the years a few times, and you can do this with any symmetrical shape or close to symmetrical shape. So, and now we have a 3-dimensional tree. So just like that. Now this time, instead of putting it on dimensionals, I'm going to just glue it flat. And then when you go to mail it, you can flatten it and then they can fluff it up. So let's put some glue here. And my friend Joanne just did this as well. So this is a technique that has been around forever, but we sometimes forget the ones that, you know, you learn something and then you go on and learn something new and then you forget about some of the others. So it's always good to be reminded. And a good way to help you push that down is to use your bone folder and give it a little burnish there as well. So now we've got that done. And all we need to do is the embellishments. And I'm bringing in some of my favorite ones right here. These are the matte decorative dots. And we're just going to choose a selection here because all of these colors actually kind of work with this. So let's put a green one there. And we'll put a blue one, which looks sort of like evening evergreen up there. And we will do one of the cherry, maybe one of the small cherry cobblers because I'm using bigger ones there. There. I could have done some down here. It really doesn't matter. I just think it well, I had them right here and I forgot. Oh, well. And then the final touch is the bow, and I'm just going to use a glue dot to stick it down there. Like that. Now, if you find your ribbon is kind of loosey-goosey there, take your pick tool, get another glue dot, and then just lift it and slide it underneath, and that makes it secure. Because this is a heavier ribbon, it kind of pulls the other one off. So that's a way of making it more secure. So there are two versions of the same card with the flat tree and the 3D. So I'm glad you like the reminder, because we have done this before, haven't we? But it's been a while. So it's always good to have those reminders. So that is card number 3. So let's bring in card number 4. So this is card number 4. And on this one of those cards you could have made multiples quickly. Oh yes, any of these cards actually today would really work well for making multiples. They really work out. And this card here is actually just using scraps of paper. So I thought that would be kind of fun to show you too. So, and I love that little penguin. So we will give ourselves a go at that one. So let's bring in our package. So here comes our little envelope full of goodies. And first off, we're going to fold the card base. This is Cherry Cobbler. And then what I also have here is a piece of basic white, and it has been embossed with this gorgeous time-worn type 3D. So this is a 3D embossing folder. So you will want to have the specialty plate number 4. Now, if you, in older catalogs, it was a blue plate. It's the same as this. It's now gray, but this really works with the 3D embossing folders. So that's what you want to have to get that nice impression there. So let's bring that in. And the penguin is also a bundle. So it has the punch and it has the stamp. I've seen little mermaids made with this and all kinds of wonderful things. So you can let your imagination go a little crazy. So our first thing that we're going to do here is do our stamping. So we want be cool, be chill, be merry. And it is a photopolymer, so I'm going to put it on a foam mat. This is actually for the Stamparatus, but I love to use it for stamping on with photopolymer. So let's just ink it up with Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to keep it towards this end because I'm going to have paper going over this end. So that is my plan. Let's see if I can get it straight, looking through a camera. Oh, it's good enough, I think. A little low, but it's good enough. It sort of will blend in with the background. Oh, I had one other thing. Remember I was talking to you about the snowflakes and how they make a design? So you could also have done the background instead of the embossing folder. We could have had this. So since I use the embossing folder on this one, I think I'm going to use this on this one just to show the variation. So there. Sometimes, because I planned these last week, of course my brain forgets what my plan was, and I have to be reminded. So we're going to glue this down first. I am usually a procrastinator, so usually I've just finished designing a project before I do it. And so everything is fresh in my brain. And when I get ahead of the game, it throws me right off sometimes. Do you ever find that? Maybe you're not a procrastinator. I tend to fly by the seat of my pants far too often. So now I'm going to put this one down here. Whoops, I think I want it a smidge closer. It's hard to see here. There we go. Now you could angle cut those if you wanted or whatever. I just left them square. So we've got it looking like that. Now we're going to bring this and bring it down here. So it's just actually a simple little bit of designer paper, but it adds so much. And I like to do this before fastening it to the card front, because sometimes a little bit overhangs or something like that. So we can even things up much more easily if we do it before fastening it down. So let's flip that over and trim that off. So it's a good thing we did exactly what I just talked about. And now it's good to add a little adhesive there. I think I didn't get very close there. There we go. Add it to the card front. Ooh, I didn't fold that one very straight. I think I'll flip it over and use this side. There we go. Give it a good burnish. And now we're going back to the snowflakes again. Now you could use circles, you could use whatever you have, but the snowflakes just fit, and I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put it on a dimensional. Just like that. So it's just about touching the words, but not quite. And you're saying, oh, but that's sticky. No worries, because we're going to cover it with the cute little penguin, and that's for the inside. We'll worry about that later. And so for the penguin, let me just show you how I stamped the penguin here. So I look at the punch. So the penguin punch is going to punch the penguin out upside down. So that helps me know how to stamp. So I'm going to bring in my penguin stamp and my Memento black ink. But I'm going to stamp him upside down so he will go in the punch the right way, just like that. And then I'm going to give him his feet and his nose, and I'm going to use Calypso Coral for that. So let's bring in those. Now I'm going to turn him around so I can see him properly. I'm going to add those little feet. Now the punch also has feet, so you could punch them out if you wanted, if you have the punch. And there's this one here. Now, if you don't have the penguin stamp set, what you can do is look at what you do have. Deer or punch. If you have the deer, if you have, you can add a little circle here and stamp on it. Or if you have some designer paper with a little character on it, you can add that. So those are some other options. Now, let's punch this out. Bring it in like that. And when I'm punching, I like to gently squeeze and hold it in place and see if it looks centered or if it needs a little tweaking. And I think that looks pretty good. You can see that the little foot is there as well. So let's move that out of the way. Now we're ready to bring this in. I'm going to bring my mat in because I want to add a few little extras. I also stamped the hat and the scarf, and I seem to have lost the scarf, so I guess I'll be cutting it out. But to add it, I fussy cut them because there's not a die or a punch for that. And you can decide, I decided I want him to have a little jaunty angle to his hat. And then for the scarf, again, it's really easy to cut out. When you're cutting out images, if you leave a little tiny white border, it is far more forgiving. It sort of just blends in with the background, and your cutting looks way better, much more spectacular, and it's less stressful. So there we go.
So, sound effects are optional, but you know, they're kind of rewarding. There we go. And so now we'll just add a little bit of adhesive to his neck. I've got a bunch of goop on there. There we go. And go like that. And then we're going to put him on a dimensional too. So we'll just bring a dimensional in, stick it to the middle of our snowflake. Add the little penguin there. And then the option here is you could easily, again, add some Wink of Stella to the snowflake, just to add a little bit of shimmer. But there you have it. There is card number 4. And on the inside, there's a little gift in the stamp set and Merry Christmas. And so that's how that went. So here I did, so this is the one with the snowflake kind of etched into the background. And this is the timeless type in the background. So you can see it, either one works well. So you can have some fun and mix it up. The penguins are your favorite, Sister Mark. They are so super cute. I just love them. So those are your 4 cards. So thank you for joining me. And how can you get the kits? Well, you can get the kits by placing a $45 or more order by November 19th. Now the 19th is Friday, so you can place the order online or you can contact me, either way. Now, it's sort of like the perfect storm, right? Oh, sorry, I'm going to just pause for a minute. Remember I was talking about you could cut something out? This is cut out from designer paper, this cat. It's from the Sweet Stockings. So that would be another option. I didn't even put anything behind that one, but I did add a few embellishments, as you can see. So back to what I was saying. This is like the perfect storm. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday till the 18th, Stampin' Up! Is having its seasonal sale, which is like a Black Friday sale. All the card stock is on sale. So look at your supplies. Are you needing to replenish any? And they're on sale for 10% off. All of the ink pads are on sale, not the bundles, but the individual ink pads in the annual catalog are on sale. So are you missing a color or two? What else is on sale is all the dies in the annual catalog. So the dies are 20% off, and if you're a demonstrator, there's some more off, so they can be very reasonable. So last night I did a whole presentation on one die, and I'm going to be featuring dies a little bit in the next little while. So take a look at those dies and see if there's some that you think would be good. So if you place an order by Friday, you get the card kits and the handout with the measurements. If you place an order by Thursday, you would get that, plus you would get the discount on the cardstock, the ink, and the dies. Also, anyone who places an order before the end of November, their name gets put in a random draw for this stamp set here. I happen to have one extra, so I am going to do a random draw for anyone who orders from me in November, and someone will win that. So it is like a perfect storm. Plus there's a deal on the starter kit. So it's usually $135 and it is on sale for $100. So there is just so much going on. Let's take one more look at the cards we made today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now one of you is going to receive these 4 in the mail. And how does that happen? Share my video, and then in the comment section just write shared. You have to write it because even though I can see that people share, I can't see who has shared. So share this video and your name will be put in the draw, and I will do the draw. Let me see, and let you know. Let's say it has to be, you have to share it by Friday as well. And then I will put your name in and one of you will get these cards mailed to you. So thank you so much for those of you who have joined me in real life time. Thanks who are joining me later. Just make sure to say hi. And a big thanks to those of you who are joining me via YouTube. And I would love it if you take a moment to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone. Have some fun. Bye-bye.